Hello, all you beautiful gamers. As per usual, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Respawn Recap. Hey, you ready?
Oh, so ready.
Let's get into it, folks. Hope you all enjoy. And the Twitch bans do continue, this time around dipping more into the esports side of thing. 100 Thieves member Tommey, a Warzone creator very well known for exposing other Warzone streamers for cheating, this time around has actually been banned on Twitch, sped run the whole process as he was unbanned, I believe a handful of hours later, 5 hours later, and what Twitch is now called, due to their mistake, he was actually banned on Twitch.
I mean, like I said, who investigates the investigator? I mean, how does this happen at this point? How does the man who gets people banned get banned in return?
I mean, it was only a matter of time, right?
Right.
But that brings up a great point because we rarely see, at least publicly, someone out there who is banned by mistake. I'm sure it happens all the time, but Tommey actually released in a tweet the email he received that it was a Twitch mistake that got him a ban that was going to be for 14 days. So to your point, who investigates the investigator who actually investigated Tommey's case? Because how do you get that wrong is my general question.
And I think you brought up a good point, maybe it was on Twitter, I think, where it's like, well, if you're not 100T Tommey and you get one of these bans, like if you don't have Nadeshot in the background yelling at Twitch, you know, like, how are you going to get out of this ban?
If you're little Timmy and nobody knows you and you get banned for 14 days due to non-sensitive personal information on a VOD, which might have been deleted, how do you get in contact or communicate with Twitch? I don't think you do. So that's where the main issue for me lies. Luckily, 100T Tommey is connected to 100T and has now been unbanned on Twitch. And man, oh man, you had this story. We actually were luckily in touch with a guy like Dellor as well as YouTube Gaming on this case. An absolutely insane case of what a hacker can take from people. Dellor obviously being the latest victim of that.
It was pretty crazy and honestly like heart-wrenching. We talked a little bit about like some people don't normally feel bad for Dellor because, you know, his rage moments and all that, that's kind of his content, but this was hard to watch. I mean, seeing like everything be taken from someone and like he just had to use his social media following to like get help. Again, another situation of if you're not someone like that, how do you get help in these situations? But I mean, they took everything from him. I
mean, literally, we actually had DM'd him back and forth. Just every account you can think of, every password you can think of, personal information was taken from him. Luckily, he's slowly getting those things back. I believe the YouTube channel first and most importantly, but other things following. It's the first case I've ever seen where hackers didn't stop at just one account. They literally targeted this guy and wanted just everything gone, which makes you wonder all the more. Of course, the guy certainly has a history of some rageful moments, some not so proud moments, but you're still left feeling bad when someone tries to ruin someone for what is the giant question.
Right. For what and how? Like, it's insane that someone somehow put this kind of like file on his computer that just moved to every hard drive, every network, took over everything, keylogged everything, and like just like, how do you go that far to like take over someone's life?
And then how do you sit with yourself as well? Right. Luckily, Dellor, apparently the problem is slowly being resolved thanks to YouTube Gaming as well for, a crazy situation. And this next one is, well, it's probably a Fortnite classic. I cannot imagine seeing this in other esports. Maybe it has happened, so don't ridicule me. That being this past weekend, FNCS qualifiers did continue, obviously for eventually going to be a gigantic multi-million-dollar event, $20 million total in prize pool. When it comes time for the qualifiers, something I've never seen in other esports, luckily to date, that being Nickmercs, a former dual World Cup winner. His teammates, well, one of them was down, could not get his card back. The other one could have, and they both just left him mid-game, to which he goes on to compete for the remainder 10 to 15 minutes, and obviously super frustrated and being like, yo, my teammates just left the effing game.
I mean, that just reminds me, you know, like playing with the boys and like you get out and you're like, I'm just going to leave and start another game. You know, like they're probably just playing pubs on the side. Like, I don't want to wait through this. I'm just going to go ahead. But I mean, I can't imagine, like you said, any other professional game doing this. No. Like, imagine like Scump just leaving in the middle of a match.
Like, oh, dude, it's washed.
S&D, he gets killed. He just like walks away.
Scump has left the game.
Right.
It's like you imagine like G2 Yankos being like, nah, it's just not the one. Like 25 minutes in, you really cannot imagine. Obviously, these guys are typically younger pros. You kind of got to learn this is unprofessional. You know, whether or not you had a chance to qualify, whether or not you had a chance to come back and be in the game. One of them did, one of them did not. This is unprofessional. So you're left feeling bad for the guy in Nickmercs who is now currently, surprise, looking for 2 new teammates. And an absolutely horrifying story that unfortunately does have to be talked about. You know, the COD scene has seen a lot of loss over the past year or so, heartbreaking moments, and that does continue this week. In case you guys did actually miss this one, a 19-year-old female pro from the mobile scene known as Soul was unfortunately murdered. Those reports have now been confirmed following an investigation, was murdered by a fellow player in the Call of Duty mobile scene this past week.
Like you said, very sad and like just heart-wrenching to hear about, but also like really terrifying, honestly, to think that like people were saying that it might have been premeditated, and like the fact that it was someone she knew and like a teammate in the scene is just, I mean, that's hard. That's just hard.
And there's a lot of different sayings going on. Of course, only going to share with you guys what has been confirmed. And in fact, some reports have said it was premeditated, even taking videos of the occurrence and sending it to, other group messages, and then finally confessing to the crime. He has since been arrested and confessed to that crime. If you want to look at if there is any ounce of a bright side, he has been taken into custody and likely will serve, hopefully, a lengthy lifetime sentence. Just another heartbreaking story from the Call of Duty scene. And most notably as well, thoughts and prayers to her family and friends. But bouncing back into some stuff out there that it's not so solemn, it's going to be some bickering, some back and forth. Apparently what is not beef, I just want to say every B word in the freaking vocabulary out there, that being Nickmercs versus Huskerrs. We actually had 4 videos on this. I know you heard me record just about every single one. What are your overall thoughts on Nickmercs versus Husky Husk?
I mean, I don't mean to be too polarized here, but I gotta agree with Nick on this one. I just I don't think I'd get along with Huskerrs too well, and hearing him say stuff like, "You little man, baby," like things like that just, sends me.
I think Nick definitely had some good counters, especially when it all stemmed from 5 months ago, where I think if you would have left it back there, Huskerrs had an argument in that case, but then you call him a man baby, and then you block the mods in your chat for seemingly no reason. If you guys want to check out the videos, there were a lot of back and forth, and certainly 2 sides to the argument. Nickmercs obviously has the larger following in this case, so Huskerrs was kind of fighting uphill. I think at the end of the day, when you have a top Warzone competitor, by a lot of eyes out there, Huskerrs still the current #1 earner, versus Nickmercs, the arguably #1 Warzone streamer, we got to break it down. You're seemingly taking Nicky's side. I'm going to ride that line in between, that both guys kind of just, jabbing back and forth. Nick definitely had the harder last jab, but at the end of the day, when you got 2 giant figures going at it, it's just fun to break it down. So who do you guys think won, Nickmercs versus Huskerrs? Yeah, as per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the Respawn recap, breaking down the craziest stories of this week, which there were plenty of. Hunter, Blonde Baby, you want to show them out the door?
Yeah, per usual. We're going to just be headed straight out the door, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll catch you guys next time. Take care.